Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that intro. Edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month. Now, cerebral palsy is a congenital disorder of movement, muscle tone, or posture. It's due to abnormal brain development, often before birth. However, there are instances where it can be detected as late as early childhood. Due to the abnormal brain development, a person with cerebral palsy could have neurological problems including difficulty seeing or hearing, intellectual disabilities, seizures, abnormal touch or pain perceptions, oral diseases, mental health conditions, and urinary incontinence. And this is a cerebral palsy awareness comic hero tee. And inside the speech bubble, you have some butterflies, and then you have then I have a patch with the ribbon with a butterfly on one sleeve, and then the patch from the Cerebral Palsy organization on the other. Now, in my line of work, I have served individuals with cerebral palsy, and I don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but I've impacted them and their families. And if y'all are watching this, and if you're watching this and you're living with cerebral palsy, or you know someone that's living with cerebral palsy, or a family member of someone living with cerebral palsy, this episode is for you. And also, it's St. Patrick's Day, and that's why I'm wearing this hat. At first I was just going to raise awareness of cerebral palsy, but then I figured, I don't like leaving holidays out. So this is, for the most part, a cerebral palsy St. Patrick's Day mashup episode of the show. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. And while I'm thinking about it, I have two announcements at the end of the show. One is regarding next week's episode, which is the 350th episode, and the next one is some great news if you're a New Orleans Saints fan. But for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, last week's episode I asked, what is the name of the construction company in Marvel Comics that specializes in repairing damage caused by conflicts between superheroes and supervillains? Now, I gave some hints on last week's episode. The first hint, it was created by Dwayne McDuffie and Ernie Colon. And then the second hint, it debuted in Marvel Age Annual number 4 in 1988. Well, the correct answer is Damage Control. And 13 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their name's been entered in the drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is... Courtney Emerson from Cedar Hill, Texas. Congratulations, Courtney. Win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a DC question. True or false? Cisco Ramon was originally created for the current Flash TV series on the CW. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, now Mike Hart from Swartz, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features two characters, one demonic and one that can be demonic if pushed too far. And is also an X-Men. Representing DC, we have Trigon. And representing Marvel, we have Dark Phoenix. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call... The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Trigon versus Dark Phoenix. Trigon possesses superhuman strength, speed, endurance, stamina, and durability, invulnerability, longevity, shapeshifting, energy manipulation and projection, telekinesis, pyrokinesis, telepathy, empathy, psychic abilities and extrasensory perception, thermokinesis, manipulation and transmutation of pure matter in all its forms, spiritual manipulation, interdimensional teleportation, cosmic energy generation and manipulation, transfer and negation of powers, cosmic consciousness, power over shadows and darkness, the ability to further develop and augment the superpowers of others to enormous levels, bestow any superpowers to another, and teleportation over vast distances in a red flash of demonic energy. Dark Phoenix possesses teleportation and telekinesis. While acting as an avatar for the Phoenix Force, her own powers are magnified, including matter manipulation on an atomic level, teleportation, and immortality. Who would win? First off, this fight wouldn't dare take place on Earth. It would be in hell. These two are both immortal, but Dark Phoenix has a history of dying. Dark Phoenix charges against Trigon, but the latter absorbs the Phoenix Force. Just as Trigon is about to finish off Jean, the former is surprisingly overwhelmed by the power of the Phoenix Force. The Phoenix Force then returns to its rightful host, along with a few powers belonging to Trigon. Jean then ends the fight by causing Trigon to spontaneously combust with a single thought. Dark Phoenix wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Thank you, Mike Hart, for that request. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll have another one for next week. Now it's time for Conically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there's only one thing I'm going to talk about in this segment of Conically Speaking, and that's my review of Infinite Frontier #0. Now, it's a one-shot by DC, and it takes place not long after the events of Dark Knight's Death Metal. Now, in Dark Knight's Death Metal, it ended with Wonder Woman taking down the multiverse who laughs. And it picks up with this group called the Quintessence, offering a position to her. Now, some of the members of the Quintessence are the High Father of New Genesis, Ganthet, Gaia, the Phantom Stranger, the Spectre, and then her dear old dad Zeus. And Diana is at this point she doesn't really know if she wants to do this, because she's worried about all the people on Earth. So she and the Spectre end up going to Earth, and then they start checking on everyone. One of the things that really got me about that was she goes to Themyscira, and then she checks on her mother. Of course, that's Hippolyta, and not only her, but also all her other sisters on Themyscira. And they're all mourning, but then at the same time they're like, okay, look, someone has to take Diana's place. And one of the front runners of that was Nubia. And they wanted to go through these trials in order to become Wonder Woman. But then Hippolyta says, look, y'all back off. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to Earth, and I'm going to represent us. Nubia, you're the new queen of Themyscira. Congratulations. And of course, Hippolyta becomes a member of the Justice League. And of course, filling in the void of her daughter, who she thinks is deceased when she really isn't. And then there's some other things that are going on. They check on John Kent, Superboy, and he's in Metropolis, and he takes down this alien creature with no problem. But the Spectre is throwing shade at him and said, look, he's a tyrant, he's a half-breed, he's no good, he shouldn't become Superman. And then Wonder Woman's like, what's wrong with that? I've known this kid since he was a baby. He has just as much heart and determination as his father. That was the only thing about that entire book I didn't like. And then some other things, like, oh, by the way, Green Arrow and Black Canary are returning as members for the Justice League for the first time in a long time. And then also becoming members of the Justice League for the first time are Black Adam, and I'm really excited about this character becoming a member, Naomi. Now, Naomi, of course, was created by Brian Michael Bendis, David F. Walker, and Jamal Campbell. And she even had her own mini-series that premiered in DC in 2019. Read the whole thing, loved it, and I'm really excited about her becoming a member of the league. And just a few, just some great things. Now it ends with Wonder Woman declining, becoming a member of the Quintessence. And I kind of knew that was going to happen, because Wonder Woman she's not just a god, she's not just the princess of Themyscira, but she is a warrior. She doesn't like to stand by and do nothing. She likes to fight. So what she does is that she ends up going in time to like the Viking era of history, and she goes to Valhalla and she fights alongside some Vikings, and that's where the current series of Wonder Woman picks up, and that's actually one of the comics that are featured on this episode. But at the end of the book, there's an extra scene where that takes place. The Quintessence are they're discussing. They're saying Diana shouldn't have declined her offer. All her insecurities would have been taken care of. But then all of a sudden, this grim figure comes in and beats the snot out of all of them. And who might that be? None other than the King of Apocalypse himself, Darkseid. And I kind of figured it was Darkseid, because I don't think anyone else would have beaten the snot out of them like he would. No one else would have beaten the snot out of him like he did. So, yeah. But really, and it also sets the tone for the upcoming Infinite Frontier series, which premieres this summer. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to all the books that are coming to DC. It's gonna be lit. That's all I can say. All right, that's it for Conically Speaking. Let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 61. Children of the Atom number 1. Green Lantern Season 2 number 12. The Immortal Hulk number 44. Really excited about this book. The Joker number 1. Really excited about this book also. Non-Stop Spider-Man number 1. Superman number 29. Wonder Woman number 770. This is one of the books I was talking about in Conically Speaking. And finally, X Factor number 8. Alright, that's 9. This brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 10,524. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. And here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. True or false? Cisco Ramon was created for the Flash TV series on the CW. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Courtney Emerson from Cedar Hill, Texas, who won a free tee on this week's episode. Alright, now here's the road ahead for the show. Now, next week's episode, I'm going to raise awareness of brain cancer. And then on episode 351, I'm going to raise awareness of MS, or multiple sclerosis. Now, with episode 350 in mind, which is next week's episode, of course it's the 350th episode, and I wouldn't feel right if I didn't give away something. So I've decided to give away 5 free Comic Hero cups. Now, this is the front of it. That's the main logo. And on the back, it has the secondary logo and then my parting words. Be safe, be blessed, be a hero. And if you want your own cup, now if you're watching this directly from the show, leave a very positive comment. And then if you're, that's for everyone watching directly on YouTube or Instagram TV. Now, if you're watching this from, now I'm going to post this again on social media. And your job, if you want to be entered in a drawing for a free cup, all you have to do is like or love the cup. I'm going to take a picture of it and post it on social media. So there you go. Now, I also said, now this is something that, now I said earlier about doing something for all the my fellow New Orleans Saints fans. Now, of course, y'all heard that the Saints have terminated the contract of longtime punter Thomas Morstead, and then y'all heard a few days ago that Drew Brees has decided to hang it up for good. And in honor of these 2 players, who were the last 2 players left from when they won the Super Bowl 11 years ago, I'm going to start selling New Orleans Saints Comic Hero tees. This is what it looks like, and of course it has the legendary sleeve piping and all that. And then for adults, they're $9, and then for children, they're $6. Really love these guys. They're not just great players; they're great human beings. I mean, they did so much for the community while they were playing for the Saints, and Morstead has done a lot for the for the city of New Orleans, and then Drew Brees has done a lot for the state of Louisiana as a whole. And I'm doing this to honor them, and that's pretty much it. And I just want to go ahead and say this to all people that are living with cerebral palsy and their families. It's not what happens to you; it's how you face it. And I have, and in my field of work, all the individuals that I have served, they may have cerebral palsy, but in the way that they live their lives, it doesn't have them. And if you're one of the individuals that I served that have cerebral palsy and you're watching this, just keep on fighting, keep on living, keep on smiling, keep on striving. That's all I have to say. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for the 350th episode. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.